Hey everybody, Random Thoughts here, and I wanted to do a video today, an unscripted video, on the Associate Cloud Engineer exam and what it takes to pass it on the first try. So I had fairly recently, taken the exam and passed it, and I was pretty pumped. I was actually almost somewhat surprised that I passed it on the first try. But just diving right into it. Some background, I had been working with Google Cloud for about 4 to 5 months in a somewhat limited capacity, meaning, I was primarily working with Google Kubernetes Engine. So yeah, that's kind of my background there. And what I wanted to do was I did want to take the certification, and there's some kind of debate within the ops community, SRE community, whatever, about taking certifications, right? So ultimately, you do you. I just I wanted to start taking some certifications. I just wanted to kind of showcase kind of what I've been working on and what I know, and that kind of deal. So yeah, I mean, really, I just you Google the certification here, you end up on these pages. I ended up learning about it. I ended up registering for it, and then I registered for it, and I set it. I gave myself some realistic time frames, so I set it like 2 months out, and I then went to the sample questions. So within their page, they just have some sample questions. I ended up taking those sample questions. I was a bit too confident, I guess, because I didn't do exceptionally well on those sample questions. So, see where you're at. If you've been working with Google Cloud for quite a long time, maybe you do really well. I don't know. I didn't do exceptionally well. So from there, I ended up searching for a book just because I wanted to, I wanted something to read in the evenings. I generally learn best through watching video tutorials. It's just one of the things that I've kind of picked up on about myself. So I did get the book just as a supplemental resource, and then I did find some videos as well. So those videos exist over here, and that's with a Cloud Guru. Previously, I was using Linux Academy quite a bit, and then Cloud Guru acquired Linux Academy. So previously, I used Linux Academy for things like Chef and Puppet, and just really using those videos as kind of like an understanding of what was happening in the industry at the time. But yeah, I did find these videos in Cloud Guru, which I was pretty pumped about. Fantastic videos. These were really good. It took me through some of the basics that I wasn't aware of within Google Cloud as well. So it's quite nice. You have your 12.4. It actually tells you how much time this is going to take, which is also nice. How many lessons there are and all of this. So I did watch all of this, and then I wanted to kind of really validate my Kubernetes experience here. So I ran through the GKE course as well. So some of that reasoning is when you take the practice exam, you're going to see quite a few questions on GKE. So if you're not familiar with Kubernetes concepts or terminology, this will help you with that, but it will also help you apply it to a public cloud, in this case Google Cloud. So each public cloud kind of has their own flavor of how they're working with Kubernetes. AWS is EKS, so Elastic Kubernetes Engine Service, EKS, and then GKE has Google Kubernetes Engine, and then Azure has their own Kubernetes as well, and I believe others do as well, DigitalOcean or Linode or whatever. But yeah, just something to be aware of as well. And then, I mean, realistically as well, once you're familiar with the Kubernetes concepts, just the concepts themselves, in theory, you can apply those to other public clouds. You just have to become, kind of aware of, what nomenclature they might have as well. So something to keep in mind, for future exams. But yeah, so I use those resources, and then in addition to these, maybe they mentioned something, that I wasn't familiar with. In my case, it was serverless concepts, because it's something I hadn't worked with previously. So they, they'll go through it, but if I really wanted to do a deep dive on something to fully understand it, I would just hit up the documentation. So yeah, just navigate the documentation, search what you need to search. Maybe it's Cloud Functions or whatever you're looking for, and then do a deep dive there. And yeah, ultimately, I think that's what worked for me. And then just kind of scouring the internet, I also saw some interesting things, such as like, is, you know, the book, right? This book that I picked up, was it the only source that, they needed in order to pass? So yeah, just some interesting comments there. Not really. So, I mean, that's the exact approach that I took. I just used some video information in addition to my my minimal experience, and then kind of like the book in the evenings. But yeah, that's what I used. I didn't really cram for this, as I previously mentioned, but I guess each person, I do with this as you will. Like if you want to go through all those courses within a weekend or something, I'm sure you can do it, but I would definitely find yourself some practice exams, like especially the one from Claude Guru. Like once you go through all of this, just keep taking that practice exam. Become familiar with the questions that they ask and how they pose those questions, because some of them are confusing, right? It's this multiple choice exam, but sometimes you can pick multiple options, so something to keep in mind there as well. But this is what I used. So I hope this video helped you. Leave a comment below if it helped you, or if you have any further questions on resources or anything, and I can get back to you on that. But good luck.